So guys, welcome back again. This is video 10. I'm doing it like this because basically this is a story. That's why I'm numbering the videos, and basically once I start doing the protocol, you can see exactly from each video of the progress that's being done over the year. Or if someone comes in on video 20 or whatever it is, they can go back to 21. So that's why I'm doing it, numbering the videos. Yeah. So today's video, I'm just going to talk about the finances of when you have a stroke, of how it affected you. Me, it almost wiped us out. Yeah, we had to stop our work. We had to stop our businesses that were being sorted out at the time. It really, really affected us. When I say us, I'm talking about me and my son in a big, big way. Yeah, everything was turned upside down overnight. Now, there's lots of people out there that are much younger than me. There's people in their 40s and 50s that have had a stroke. They could be the breadwinners. So I'm interested to know in the comments, how did it affect you with your own finances? So imagine the breadwinner having a stroke and all of a sudden you've got no money coming in. Now here in the UK we've got a pretty good benefit system where they're going to back you up, so it's enough money to get you over. But I don't know about America or South America, wherever you are, or parts of Europe or Asia. How have you got over the financial side of having a stroke? Has it affected you badly? Did you get help from family? You know, I'm just interested in knowing exactly your own personal stories. So that put it in the comments, please. I really will look at it, read it, and hopefully I can answer a lot of the comments back to understand your own personal journey and problems that you've had. Thank you. So, talking about finances and when you have a stroke, where it affects everything. One of our businesses is a building company, yeah, but it's a specialist building company. So we had a lot of contracts lined up, ready to go, yeah. Now, I'm not an office person. I do like to go out on site. You know, it's just in my nature that I like to be out there working away. I should have at the time just stayed in the office and just run it from there. But being the person that I am, I just like to be out there on site with the guys, getting the jobs done. But when that happened, everything stopped. In a matter of hours, everything stopped because we couldn't complete the contracts because I was out there working and stuff like that. So we had to stop until my son could rearrange everything and pull some of the other guys off some of the other contracts to finish some of the other contracts, if you can understand where I'm coming from. So our work is specialised. It's not like we can take someone off the street and basically put them to work. It's a lot of involvement that takes a lot of training, and it wasn't easy. We managed to keep going with a couple of our other crews to keep things ticking over. But just me having a stroke threw everything into chaos. Everything for the building company into chaos. The other company I will talk about, again, was thrown into chaos. Our other business that we was sorting out. I'll talk about that later in the video. So there you go. Having a stroke, or basically any serious illness where it takes what I call the main person out, causes chaos. What's your experience? You know, have you had the same sort of experience or problems with businesses or, you know, your work? You know, obviously There's people out there that are doing a specialised job, and all of a sudden you can't do it. How did that affect your work and the businesses? I'd be interested to know. So please put it in the comments. I'm really, really looking forward to reading it and basically batting it backwards and forwards to see how other people have got over these problems. Yeah. And as I said earlier on in this video, you know, so many young people are having strokes now. So many young people are having strokes. They're in the prime of their life, especially when you get to your 40s and 50s. In my opinion, that's the best time of your life. You're in the prime of your life, the prime of your life. And to have a stroke like you can't walk, or you're seriously ill, you can't think, you know, it's absolutely devastating. Yeah, absolutely devastating. And it's 10 times worse if you're the breadwinner, where no money's going to come in, where actually no money's going to come in. So, again, tell me your story. I'm interested to know. Thank you. So, guys, today's the 4th of January. Tomorrow I'm starting this AI protocol, yeah, where I'm going to start sorting all the paperwork out of really what I've got to do, yeah, and stuff like that. These initial videos I've made is basically just to try and get across to people the sort of person, get to know me. So that once, you know, I didn't want people to start watching me just doing exercises and there's no character there. Yeah, I just want people to know me as the person that I am, that basically I am going to get this done. Over 12 months, I'm determined to get it done, yeah. And considering what I've gone through over the last 9 months, I'm even more determined, yeah. I'm absolutely even more and more determined, yeah. So, please keep following. Let's get this done. Let's get it done. So, guys, as I just said, it's the 4th of January here in London. I just want to touch on one subject of the weather. At the moment, it's 2 degrees. Yeah, 2 degrees outside in London. How has the cold weather affected your stroke? Whereabouts are you in the world? Yeah, obviously, if you're living in a warm climate, it's a different situation as the heat affected you, the way that you are. What I've found is my left arm, I'm moving it about so that you can see, yeah. It's pretty mobile now. It's pretty, after 9 months, I'm using it, you know. It's still not right, but I'm getting there. But what I've noticed is that compared to this arm, my other arm, I do feel the cold in this a lot more than the right arm. Why is that? What's the reason for it? Any ideas? You know, I mean, I'm trying to imagine if you're looking at this video and you live somewhere like Russia, where it's -10, -20. You know, God, how do you get by? You know, having a stroke, has it really, really affected you? Yeah. I really, really would like to know in the comments how it has affected you. Yeah. So please comment. Let's get some banter going backwards and forwards between everybody, and let's see if someone's comes out with some hacks, some things that you do, yeah, that will help other people. It could be that you're living in the tropics and the heat is affecting you. Yeah, what do you do to cool everything down? And on the other end, you could be living in Moscow, where it's -10 or -20. How do you get on there? Yeah, how do you get on with the cold weather? Yeah. I really, really am interested in your stories. So please put it in the comments, and hopefully we can get somewhere with it. Thank you. So guys, earlier on in the video, I was talking about our businesses. So one of our businesses is a building company, yeah, specialised building company. But the other business It's a t-shirt company. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it at the moment, but I'm just saying the way life can kick you down when you don't need it. We used to run the t-shirt company, then we stopped it, and then we've gone over to a specialised part of running the t-shirt company. But the ironic part of what happened was we'd already launched the company, we'd already launched it, and we'd taken orders, we'd actually taken orders. And when I had the stroke, we had to stop it. We had to take it down straight away, and send the money back, So that's been mothballed at the moment. It's up and coming pretty soon. But I'm just saying, just having a stroke or any illness that takes what I call one of the main people out of it can affect everything, absolutely everything. And maybe it's my fault, or that basically I should have thought that this could happen, but we never think that we're going to be ill. When you're fit and healthy and you're every day you're worried about get this bill paid, do this, get this job done, you don't think about being ill, So maybe it's something that if you're thinking about doing a business and you haven't had a stroke or something like that, that have backup. Because if we'd had backup, it would have made my life 100 times easier. 100 times easier if I didn't have all the stress on top of the stroke of business. So it's just a point to take on board. So thanks. Welcome back, guys. We're talking about when you've had a stroke, how it affects your finances. So, excuse me. Here in the UK, we've got the NHS, which basically we pay in every week or every month a certain amount of money into the government system. So if we're ill, we get covered. It doesn't cost us any money to go into hospital. Now, I know in a lot of countries you haven't got nothing like that. So I'm just curious. Maybe you're in the States. What would it cost you in medical fees if you haven't got insurance? How would you pay the medical fees? The same as in the Philippines. If you're ill and you go into hospital, it's quite a lot of money. So this has got me thinking, because I'm planning to go back to the Philippines this year, and spend quite a long time there, So what do? Can I get medical insurance to cover that? Or will they not insure me because I've had a stroke? So it leaves me with only really one option, is to take a chance, if I can't get insurance. Luckily enough, with our businesses, if I am ill, we're in a strong position to pay for it, But a lot of people there have not got the money to pay for their hospital stay. So how do you get over it? How do you pay these extraordinary medical bills for not just a stroke, but for some other illnesses where you're in hospital for a couple of weeks? I've just read a story in one of our newspapers that a British couple, only young couple, they've gone to America, and they're only young. I don't know why they didn't get travel insurance, or maybe it didn't cover it. But the girl was pregnant. She was 5 months pregnant. And she's just had her baby in America. And they've been landed with a bill for £200,000. That's nearly £250,000. I just can't get my head around that. How comes that amount of money? It's ridiculous. How are they going to pay that? Maybe they will never be able to pay it off in their lifetime. I don't know. How on earth can they pay £200,000 just for having a baby? So, guys, tell me in your comments how it works in your country. You know, what sort of medical facilities that you've got. So, while we're talking about this, I'm planning to do a lot of travelling this year abroad. Yeah, a lot of travelling for our work and businesses. So, how will I get on for medical insurance? I've got to do it, but it's probably going to cost me thousands of pounds to get insured, just to do the trips that I need to do. Yeah. So, any ideas, guys? You know, insurance companies, I will welcome all of your comments, and I hope that we can help one another on this journey. So thank you so much. Thank you. So one of my experiences of having treatment, I'm actually having to pay for it, was in the Philippines, and it's quite a few years ago now. So here in the UK, if you've got a problem with your ears or anything else like that, like if it's just wax, the normal procedure here is that they will put oil in your ear, or you've got to get it medication, put the oil or stuff in your ear, and basically do that for 2 weeks, and then go back after 2 weeks, and they will get a funnel, it's what's called syringing, and pour warm water into it, which drains your ear and it brings the wax out. So that's the normal procedure in the UK, yeah, or it was anyway. So here I am in the Philippines, and I've gone deaf in both ears. So I said to my wife, I need to get them sorted out, yeah. So I'd gone to the chemist to see if they could give me something. They wouldn't touch it. They said, no, you've got to go to the hospital. So I ended up, we went to the doctor's hospital in Manila, and I'm thinking, this is going to be a long, drawn-out affair. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like the UK. Come here, do this, come back. Come here, do this, do that, come back. But when I've gone in, I'd only been in there probably about 20 minutes. And then they called me into this room, which I can only describe as something like out of a science fiction room. There was, it's like a dentist's room, yeah, all these lights and everything else. And I'm expecting, in the Philippines, to be quite honest, like, not very well equipped. Let's put it that way. Not very well equipped. So I sat in the chair, and then the lady was asking me questions and stuff like that. And then basically, to cut a long story short, she pulled this machine down, put this long tube in my ear, yeah, and within 2 minutes, she was vacuuming all the stuff out of my ear. Then she done the other ear. Dum, 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 dum. I was in there probably for about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. And both my ears are clear. The wax is done, it's out, complete. Now, I remember that cost me 1,500 pesos, which in English money, that would be about £30, yeah. So, I did have medical insurance, but I never even bothered with that, yeah. I'm satisfied, £30 to have my ears cleared. So the difference is that I couldn't quite understand why they could do it in the Philippines. And this is probably maybe 10 or 12 years ago. And in London, it's going to take 2 weeks to do. So what's your experience of, hospital stays and what you've had to pay for it? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'm really, really interested. Thank you. So guys, once again, I'm going to draw this video to a close. Please watch the the rest of the video where you might find it a bit entertaining. Like I said, I don't want to make the videos all doom and gloom all the time, talking about illness and money and God knows what else. So I like to break off with the videos with just a short story of a bit of humour. Yeah, a bit of humour. So thanks so much for watching. Please follow the story. Yeah, ongoing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, guys, if you've watched most of these videos, you'll know that I do like a bit of a joke. Yeah. So this is a story that a few years ago with my oldest grandson, Lewis. So I've gone to this job where he's working, and he's working out the back of the job with the other guys. Yeah. Their van is parked out the front of the house. They're working around the back of the house. So when I've got there, all of the windows are wide open. They've left all the windows wound down. Yeah. So I've gone out the back, and I've really gone into them, all of them. Why are you effing left all the windows out the front? Yeah, anyone can nick the van. Oh, yeah. And I'm going on and on and on. And then I said to her, do you know that there was a woman sitting in your van? And he went, what? I said, there's a woman sitting in your van. I said, I've had to throw her out. She reckoned she was homeless. He went, you're having a laugh. I went, no, there's a woman sitting in your van, and I told her to get out of the van, right? So he said, really? He said, oh, well, thanks, Grandad. He said, okay, we'll go and lock the van up. I said, well, leave it for now because I'm going. I said, but in a minute, go out the van, lock everything up. I said, because it's a bloody joke, the way that you've left your van, right? So that was it. So, being the person I am, I've gone home and I thought, okay, I'm going to teach you a lesson. So, the next day when I got there, yeah, this is the picture that I showed him. So, look at this picture. So what do you think? So what I done was I took a picture of his van before I left. Then done a little bit of Photoshop with it. And then when I got back the next day, I showed him this picture. I said, look, this is the woman that was sitting in your van yesterday. I said, and I kicked her out. He went, really? He said, you should have left her in there. I said, no. I said, I put her in my van instead. So that was it. We had a good laugh. But it brought it home to him. Lock your van up in future because it could happen. So it's just a short joke. Hope you like it.